Welcome back to another edition of the B4evaKool podcast. I got the Monday night crew in the building. Super Bowl just happened, but we don't really care about that. We care more about, some of them, we'll find out if some of these guys might, but I know we care about motorcycle racing, and MotoGP has been on fire. World Superbike is on fire, and a lot of these Motor America riders are starting to do testing and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to, I know Valentine is coming up at the end of the week and stuff like that, but I'm really looking forward to when MotoGP starts. Actually, it's World Superbike that starts first, and then MotoGP. But I'm looking forward to that. But let's get the boys in and get this thing going. TJ, man, welcome to the show, man. How you doing this week? We had a week off last week. More my fault because it seems like been craziness happening in my personal life. But we're making this thing happen, man. I was in Boston the last 2 weekends in a row, and I'm glad to be out of the cold, bro.
Man, I mean, a lot of people want to see what it's like, all the snowflakes and visit the wonderland of how nice it is to see it falling, but it ain't fun.
No, listen, it's funny. I was talking to somebody from Wisconsin, and they see cold, not as much snow and stuff like that. And this lady was just like, the only time I want to see snow is on Christmas, and that's it. And I can agree with that. That might be the only time I want to see snow is on Christmas. Even though I've been in it for a long time, man. You ready for this Motor America World Superbike MotoGP? I don't even know what you want to call it because. I think 2025 is going to be a pivotal year compared to all the other years because there's, to quote Trax Starz, who we're going to bring in a little bit, there's so much drama. What are your thoughts?
I mean, leading up to this season is already the riders are causing the drama. So, I mean, some of them are causing the drama, but I mean, it's going to be an interesting start. I mean, like Yamaha stepping it up. There's a lot of teams stepping up, and riders getting hurt, and controversy in the paddock. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun one. I can't wait. We got a couple weeks for that. Like you said, World Superbike starts before that, and that's just a whole nother battle in itself. It's time. I mean, we've been waiting all year. Can't wait for bikes to hit the tarmac.
You're absolutely right about that. We have been waiting all year, even though it's only a month and a half, but it's still all year. Let's get the rest of the gang in here, man, because it's going to be serious tonight. Smitty Shot Racing, man. Listen, man.
What's going on, fellas?
I see you got the new location in the back. That's what's up. Stepping up the game. You still got the hat on. We're gonna have to see if we can, do like trivia or something like that, and get those words changed to say Ducati instead of Honda. How things, man? How's the weather in Atlanta?
You know what? Pretty good. It's been in the 60s all week, so I love it. But next week will be a little cold front, so going back down to the 30s. So we call it a fall spring up here. Like a false neutral, So we got a false spring.
Right. That's what's up, man. You're excited. You're excited to talk about MotoGP. Were you shocked by what you saw last week at testing?
No, I was shocked. I was shocked to see Yamaha's, forward steps. Ducati kind of going backwards. The 25 bike, to me, it don't seem like it's as good as the 24. And Honda, I don't know, man. Still just trying to find their way, Can't call it, man.
I'm gonna reach out to my peoples, and we're gonna get Zarko on the phone because I think Zarko is the only one that feels like Honda's making progress. Track Stars, man. Welcome to the show, man. Can we get Smitty a Ducati hat? I know you got a gang of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure we hook them up. I'm gonna have a talk with Lewis over at Ducati New York. We're gonna get them all set up, on me too. I'm personally gonna make sure he gets that package that's very necessary in his life.
That's right.
Take those demons away. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like what they call that when they put the holy water on them. You know what I'm saying? An exorcist. Get that hand out of here, man.
No doubt, no doubt. I did make reference to the Super Bowl. Saquon, he got a Super Bowl with them boys down a couple of hours from you. Were you happy to see that? He's hoping everyone in New York still loves him.
Yo, listen, man. I'm a Jets fan. Okay. Unfortunately, so we never want anything Giants to win or Boston. You know what I'm saying? It just goes that simple. So I was definitely going for that red team. Unfortunately, they played like they was Honda red, not Ducati red. That's what happened. You know what I mean?
I think you're right about. Well, listen, I think they finally got exposed. I think
you're right. I think that is exactly how they play. Smitty, don't look like that, man. Smile a little bit.
Yeah, no, they definitely the Chiefs definitely the Chiefs won at least 4 games because they held it together better than the other teams they play. But those other teams should have beat them. And I think they definitely got exposed in the Super Bowl and by a big number. So it's going to be hard to come back from that.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, man, let's get down to what it, guys. Whoever tuned in here to talk football. I mean, we said enough. Philly won, KC lost. Let's get into this MotoGP, baby.
All right,
let's do it.
I try to be global with everything we talk about, but you're absolutely right, man. I know seeing the testing last week and so forth, you had to have your guys' blood boiling. Is this a cop out? Not a cop out. Is this a way out from Jorge Martin being injured? I should say, if he doesn't have a successful year, he was injured at the beginning of the year, and I only say that because Bastianini. I think about Luca Marini. I think about Bezzecchi. Granted, these guys, I don't know if they were. I think at the end of 2023, I felt like Bezzecchi had a chance in 24 to maybe, finish a lot better than he did, but injuries got in the way and stuff like that. Is this an excuse for Jorge Martin to say, hey, I was injured, I didn't get the same amount of seat time? Because we kind of said that for Morbidelli when he crashed in on the Ducati last year in just track time. We'll start with you, TJ. Is this a cop out for? It's not a cop out, but this is a way out for Jorge, or it shouldn't be.
It can be. I'm saying once you deserve that title and when you earn that championship, like you got to defend it. So like if you get injured, you just got to fight through it. So you can't give any excuses. I mean, it's unfortunate what happened, and I guess it is kind of fortunate that it happened sooner than later. But I mean, yeah, you can't give no excuses on this. So I don't think it's a cop out.
What are your thoughts, Smitty? I see the new location. I mean, we're gonna have to get some of those bikes up there. That's an 18-wheeler Honda truck, man. Come on,
man. He out here.
All right, man. I see you. We're gonna get you signed. We're getting you signed, man. Hey, listen, man. We're getting you signed. Is this an excuse like Rossi had with Ducati when Ducati was suffering? And Rossi was also injured as well because he had to get the surgery on his shoulder to come back after he left Ducati and stuff like that. Is this an excuse for Jorge Martin to say my year is going to be all right? Is this a cop out for Jorge Martin, or he'll be fine? No big deal.
Would he be fine? Probably not, me, because seat time is paramount, especially right now. Because right now, seat time is more important than later on in the season. So, but is it a cop out? No, it's a reason. I mean, sometimes these things happen, but it's the fact of the matter. You crash, you lose seat time, you can't build a bike the way you want it. But the guys, because each day you gain steps on the bike. And because he's not getting those steps now, he's a few steps behind now. So cop out, no, but it's the fact of the matter. But as a racer, I don't think he'll say so. But as fans and people who are actually like honest, honest with themselves, you understand it happens sometimes, And then also trying to ride while healing from an injury, you weren't the same. You weren't 100%. So he'll be behind. And I think he probably be behind until mid-season, probably, honestly, until they kind of catch up some. But right now, yeah, it's a hindrance for him. So, and it's a reason, not an excuse.
Right. Now, Trax Starz, we were talking about this off air. Where Ducati is and the 2025 bike after testing. And as you hear Smitty talking about, Jorge Martin, probably will be back, maybe 6 races in, 7 races in, up to speed. Is it going to be a race between Ducati figuring out that 2025 bike and Jorge Martin just getting comfortable seat time on the Aprilia? That's going to make the difference. Is Jorge Martin not even a contender anymore for the title? Because as we see, I don't know how much you saw online. Some people are saying Ducati was just kind of taking it easy. They weren't really showing all their cards yet.
Well, I got a friend, Andrew Johnson. He always says Ducati plays games, and he calls all their things Ducati tactics. And Ducati does use all their tactics possible. There's even, as we seeing right now, some Ducati tactics, like I said, the whole season, last season, it was going to happen this season within the pit, right next to each other. Pecco and Marquez, they already putting a fine line that come race day, that's it. No more developing, no more helping each other. It's the race is on. But let me tell you, Martin is no stranger to injuries, serious injuries. This guy, when he gets back on that bike and he gets clear to race, he's gonna be ready. Will the bike be ready for him to perform? That's now up to Bezzecchi. And what's unfortunate is that it's not only Martin who got hurt. Raul got hurt too. And just like Ducati has the satellite teams, this is a satellite team for Aprilia, and they were, really excited to the bikes in unison. And this is super unfortunate to have 2 of their 4 riders out, but Bezzecchi's super talented, and he did pretty good, man. I was really happy with his times and his concentration. He was so concentrated on what he was doing, he didn't even know about Jorge Martin's crash. Right. He was shocked to hear the news that he crashed and he was injured. He's like, I had no idea. I was out on the track focus, and that's a good thing to hear, Right. But Ducati is gonna use all their sources to win right now and get that championship next year. And they're ahead of the game. But what's crazy to hear is when they say, are we going with the 24 or the 25 bike? This is very scary. And you're not only hearing it from Pecco, you're hearing it from Martin, from Marquez as well.
Right.
In the set, and that's scary because we expect Ducati to always have the best product available. And there's no question. There's never a question. They always like, we want the new bike. We want the new bike. And this is the first time where they're questioning in a couple of years, do we want the new or the old bike?
Right.
I know for sure.
Go ahead.
I know for sure they're going to go with a 25. But this is going to be the challenge. And when you have teams like Yamaha doing what they did, and Alex Marquez being the number 1 rider after 3 days of testing, boy, it's going to be a crazy, crazy season.
Right. Yeah, I want to stay on Aprilia for a little bit before we get more into the weeds of Ducati and whether it's deliberate that they put out that they, want a 24 or 25 bike. Because you're absolutely right. If you go on history, they always run the newest bike. The only people that have done that in the past is Yamaha, Honda, and they were struggling when they did it. But they've always struggled on their new bikes for at least the first 6 races to 8 races and stuff like that. But you mentioned Bezzecchi went on and didn't even notice it. Do you? Now I'll for all you guys. Do you think that Bezzecchi is looking at Martin, even though he won the world title, like, hey, I know I'm better than this dude. My camp is better than this dude, so I don't even need to be worrying about this dude. Where, you would see other riders. You might see, for instance, in the Aprilia camp, as far as like the newer riders, they may lean on some of the older riders. Do you think Bezzecchi's looking at Martin like, oh, he's a more superior rider than me, versus just kind of like, I'm better than Martin?
I mean, I think he got to at least look up to him. I mean, if you look at Martin and what he's been putting down is the poles and the amount of races that he won in the past. And I mean, it's a fast rider. So when you want to look up to, for him to be a teammate, this is something that he can say, hey, this could be something good. For him to go down it sucks, because, you need a teammate to feed off of. So yeah, I don't think Bezzecchi's looking at it that way at all.
What about yourself, Smitty?
I don't think so, but he should. Well, Taylor, no, he should not, because to be honest, Martin is a better rider. Yeah, I don't think, straight up, if they didn't crash or had a bad start, has Bez beat him yet in anything?
Well, I mean, Bezzecchi was on a 23 bike and struggled. Martin, when he was on a 23 bike, he struggled as well. So last year is an anomaly in the sense that, and Bez also broke his collarbone and struggled. But if you look at the prior year, Bez had a decent run.
Yeah, okay, he's close. I mean, but nah.
And in Moto 2, he was, to me, Bez was a better Moto 2 rider than Martin.
That's Moto 2. That ain't the big leagues. That don't matter. I mean, nah. We seen guys come from Moto 2 and then GPs ain't do much. It's just a different ball game, Some guys adapt better. Some guys adapt well, some don't,
Quartararo is a good example and won the world title, because he was also not good in Moto 2. So yeah,
right.
Not to say he was bad, but he wasn't like Pecco or Costa, or Alex Marquez, right?
He crushed him. He was just good. Yeah,
he won titles.
I don't think there's any type of issue or competition between Bezzecchi and Martin. I think Bezzecchi, I've met Bezzecchi and he seems a very calm and laid back person. Doesn't really have an ego. I wouldn't say the same about Martin. Martin is a person that's more outspoken, more upfront. Seems like he wants to be a star, and wants the light on him. I think Bezzecchi's pretty chill, and I think it's the same approach he's taking with this, having a champion next to him. He's gonna learn all he can from him, but he's also gonna try to beat him if he can, But he's here to learn and to look up to somebody. But he's ready to lead. And it's funny because they asked him that question. Now that Jorge Martin is out, do you feel the pressure of carrying this team? And he said, I'm ready, but I would love to know how Martin is. He's concerned about his teammate. And he knows how important a teammate is. Bezzecchi was in a team already that was down and out, being in a VR46 team. But he knew that they needed to work together to be competitive and get to the front. And him and Digi worked very well through the season. And Digi was kind of that up and coming star, and they try to put Digi in front of him, and he took that on the chin very well. And he performed very good last year. He looked great at Coda. I don't know if you guys remember. I think he was second place or if in position to start.
Right.
I can't
Right.
remember, but he did really good and he did good throughout the season. I mean, then he got hurt and a lot of drama, but still he came out. He didn't let it affect him that Digi was this person that just came into VR46 and got the seed and was outperforming him in a lot of races, but he never put his head down.
But you're absolutely right. Bezecchi did come out last year and try to make the best of it, and he also has Valentino Rossi to look up to. So I think it's harder to sit here and look at Jorge Martin and be in awe of him. Maybe like some of the other riders might be and stuff like that. But now let's get into Ducati. Is Ducati just kind of just holding back and just want to see what the other manufacturers are having, or is there concern that the 25 bike may have some issues that they may need to look at the 24 engine to use versus the 25 engine?
I don't see any concern at all. I mean, when it comes to testing, I mean, I know you want to put out a fast lap, but I think their concerns on other things that's going on to try to make them better and possibly cornering or coming out of a corner and other things like that, as opposed to pulling out the fastest lap like Alex Marquez or even Yamaha improved, but. I don't think that we have anything to worry. They know they're the better bikes right now, and they got great riders. So I think they're just focused on other options right now.
Right. Hey, Smitty, you heard Track Stars talk off air about Gigi and where Marquez is and Pecco is and stuff like that. It's fair to say Ducati's going to win it again, and they don't care
Why
who
is
the
that
rider
fair?
is. I'm asking, is it fair?
Nah, it's fair. but however, it is a concern that the 25 bike isn't running as well as the 24.
Usually, yep. But that's always the case. That's always the case with all the factory bikes. Usually takes them at least 6 rounds to sort out the gremlins. Usually, and that's where the older bikes get a chance to dominate. But sometimes that doesn't happen.
Possibly, but so for example, Yamaha has improved somewhat, right?
Right. We're gonna get to Yamaha, but we're talking about Ducati.
Okay, fine, fair enough. And Ducati kind of just plateaued almost.
Right.
And you know what they say, you can't be top dog forever, right?
Right.
So their day has come probably. But why? So the concern for me is 2 reasons why. Even though the 25 bike is not as good as the 24, as a company, you got to use the new bike, because if you don't, you waste a ton of money in R&D, and then you look bad. Honestly, like I think as a company, you look bad riding the old bike, knowing that the new one didn't work, versus riding the new one that's not as good as the old one. It's a bad look for the company. So,
right, and so when Marquez was with Honda and they had to switch frames to the older frame, and same thing with Yamaha as well. Did they look? Do you feel they looked bad back then, or it was a necessary evil? I just want to make sure that we're looking at all the manufacturers with the same lens.
It's not about Honda right now, man. Trying to drag Honda into this mess. It's not about Honda, man.
Track Starz.
Oh my God, it's not about Honda, but Zarco's making y'all look great. Let's give them their props. They and Zarco saying big progress. And Luca Marini and Mir feel the same way. It's a huge step that Honda has made with this new bike. Kudos. That's all y'all get. Because no matter what we look at, we got How many Ducatis in the front? 1, 2,
5, 6.
3, 4.
All of them. Select all.
Yo, select all. But at the front we have Alex Marquez by a 1/10 of a hundredth of a second. You know, Alex got a 156.4930, and Bagnaia got a 156.500 flat. Like, you know, so they're not that off. But we're talking about a 2-time champion against Alex Marquez.
2-time champion, Moto 2, but
Moto 2, yeah, we're talking about MotoGP right now. Let's not lose focus. Don't distract them with the nonsense, my brother.
Some people like that.
We don't want smoke and mirrors here. But seriously, it says a lot about what's going on in these tests. And the craziness is that we have Marc Marquez in 5th. And that tells you the truth of where we're at. You know that Marc Marquez would have done anything to be number 1 on the last day of testing at this place. And that didn't happen. He's in 5th, and having even Fabio Quartararo in front of him, a bike that was in the back of the grid of the pack last season. It's a strong message from Yamaha, and it's a strong message to MotoGP that Marc Marquez is going to have a hard time next season. And really? I feel even more confident to say that Pecco will be champion next year.
Okay. I know you mean this year, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean this year, as soon as the season starts. My bad, people.
Yeah, okay. You guys feel the same way?
I don't know. I mean, I still think Mark is probably the favorite right now.
Okay.
You know, like there's something in you where, like, if you're down, like you give it your all, and I think he has a little more than Pecco.
Gotcha.
And I mean,
all right.
I just think that he's just not showing his cards. We know Mark can pick himself up off his knee. Like, I haven't seen anyone other rider do anything like that. You seen Pecco drag his knee and fall, pick himself up? I don't know. It's just
Pecco doesn't crash like that. I'm sorry to jump, but Pecco don't need to crash like that.
I'll go on a record and saying I agree with that. Mark isn't showing all his cards yet. And I feel the same way that Pecco. I think Ducati is not showing all their cards, so I don't think it's just Mark. I think it's a factory, it's an order, Ducati order. We're not showing all our cards. I don't think it's just necessarily just Pecco or Marquez. I think in general. But go ahead, Smitty. You get to. Are you on board with us, or do you agree with Trax Starz?
I think Marquez is going to win it next year. Honestly, not Pecco, man.
Okay. Is that Honda talking or just
no, man? Come on, man. No, it's not my Honda vibes talking. It's Marquez. I think he's a better rider still, you know?
Okay.
You got the orange pouring out your eyes, boy.
Nah, look, I think a healthy, motivated Marquez is the best rider on the grid. And now he has the so-called best bike. I mean, so you can't say he's not the favorite.
Right.
He hasn't been the best in like 4 years, my brother. How is he the best?
Man. He's been hurt.
But I will say that.
I say that
Pecco is the most with the most accolades that can challenge Marc Marquez, because everyone else either has one title or no title. And so Pecco is the closest thing because he has 2 titles. And let's be specific, in MotoGP, not any of the other classes.
And as of recent, don't forget to add that.
As of recent. So, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And I don't believe Lewis Hamilton is done in Formula One, so I don't believe Marquez is done in MotoGP. But based on that, and based on the struggles of Quartararo and Mir, which, to my knowledge, they're the only other 2 riders in MotoGP with a world title beside Marquez. Well, Jorge Martin now. So yeah. So it's like 5 riders with world titles in MotoGP right now. and 3 of them only have 1.
Okay, I mean, fair point.
So yeah, so so where does that leave KTM? I mean, we bankrupt, you know.
Oh,
Trying to borrow.
KTM, man, KTM.
Yeah, where's that leave KTM? I mean, I don't know, man. That is I mean, the good thing is they have 4 bikes, so they can do a little something. They do have good riders also on their KTM. So, I mean, they're not out of the water. I mean, as far as their situation of their money and all that, that is a whole nother story. But if they can get a little bit of funding towards this season, they can put something together. They usually start really strong, and I think that is like what you were saying. All the new bikes still got to figure out their kinks, where they can, you know, get in the top of the grid in the beginning of the season. But, you know, they started to fade out at the end of the year. So hopefully they can figure that out.
Right. So, yeah, it sounds like as a Pit Buyer, I might be messing up his last name. He's stepping down as CEO from KTM. A lot of changes in the back end, and Via Gusta sold off. I don't know who they sold off to. You know, no one likes to. It's hard to make progress in chaos, right?
Okay.
Usually in chaos, we're just trying to stop whatever is leaking, breaking, whatever, and then once we stop the bleeding, we can try to figure out how we can move forward. So in a moment where they literally they don't know if they've stopped the bleeding yet. Right, they're just making changes for the public, for us to see, and so we may feel differently about the brand. But until racing starts, it's going to be really hard to know where KTM stand.
Okay, that's
Well,
fair.
I think
What I hope does not happen is they ruin Acosta. You know, like in football, if you draft let's say like QB to a bad team, you got bad coaching around him, and he just doesn't develop well. Then he's a bust. Then he goes to a new team, like, wow, this guy was good, but he had a bad environment. So I hope that is not affect Acosta, because I mean, I'm a huge fan of Pedro, big time. So I hope he gets on a good team one day and show what he really could do, you know, on a good bike. Right. With a stable team, you know?
Right. And KTM.
Man, wait. Go ahead.
No, KTM does you know, sign these long contracts so that way you're kind of forced to stay with them. So, you know, on one hand, if the situation was different in the sense of all the financial woes, it would be like it's awesome. But where you see financial woes, and you see that they brought Acosta up early so he wouldn't go to Ducati and stuff like that. They don't necessarily they're not selling brand loyalty like Ducati and I would say Yamaha.
Okay, fair enough.
You're gonna say Trax Starz?
Yeah, and I'm still gonna say it. Diamonds are a product of pressure, and we get the shapes from cuts, and you can't. This could be exactly what KTM needed to take them a step further. You know, the drama, the instability, a brand that was perceived as something that cannot be brought down. When you talk about KTM and their product outside of MotoGP, the abundance of bikes that they sell and the dominance that they have in dirt motorcycle racing, which is probably even more so popular than even road racing because of Drakkar and all these other competitions that we really don't pay attention to, but we're definitely aware of.
Right.
To see them in this position puts the pressure on these riders to make sure that they have a job moving forward and to compete. Fortunately, they got 4 riders and 4 uninjured riders through this testing. They're still up, they're still running, and as you see, the MotoGP been plagued with injuries this season, and early in testing, to lose so many riders is just I've never seen. I don't recall something like this happening. We're talking about 4 or 5 riders out, and not just out, just might not even make the first race, and we don't know how much longer after that. So KTM has been blessed with health and a real motivating factor, not just for a championship, but for existence moving forward. That's the motivation KTM needs and what these riders need, because they know without that, that's 4 seats that will not be available in MotoGP moving forward in 2026.
Okay. Now, I did see a thing. I did see a podcast video. Gypsy Tale. They had. I don't remember the rider that they were talking about. This is like a year ago. They were talking about Ducati and Ducati's dominance. They were talking about KTM and the possible troubles that they were having. And this is like a year ago. So these guys already knew that KTM was had issues a year ago. But I bring it up because of what you said, Trax Starz, as far as like how KTM has been able to dominate in the dirt world and stuff like that. And I remember looking at the video and thinking, like, is it, is it like, I'm Jamaican, and if I was an artist and decided to do music, and I've been doing reggae music for 20 years, and then all of a sudden I decided to go do country music, am I out of my league? Is KTM out of the league to go into road racing because they've been doing dirt racing for so long, and we see Ducati now getting into dirt racing? Is there a thing you think between Ducati and KTM in the sense that Ducati's like, look, you came into our world, now we're getting into your world with the dirt bikes and stuff like that, because we see that Ducati's signed one of the biggest MX riders to manage their dirt team and stuff like that, and they got a new bike coming out. So did KTM, to go back to your point, Trackstar, did KTM undertake something huge by coming into MotoGP, coming into road racing? And when you look at their lineup, most of their bikes are dirt bikes.
I think, we could look at that situation 2 ways, right? How far have they come in such a short amount of time? They came in, I just looked it up. They've been in the game since 2017.
Right.
So they're not even 10 years in, and they up there. They're a force to be reckoned with. And it goes to just show the quality of motorcycles they build, their competitive nature. And like I told you, it's just a motivating factor in racing that we utilize. We try to use, even us, right? We come out from nothing, but we make it to the track and try to outdo ourselves consistently to get better. And we put our finances into this because this is what we love to do. It's no different for these companies, Some of these richest people, they pour their money into racing for nothing in return but the passion of saying, I won racing.
Yeah.
And that's what KTM is. And this is another, like I said earlier, it's just another point to stay motivated and make sure that they win, because this is what they've been trying to do since 2017. And they're so close to hitting that decade in racing and seeing their accomplishment, because they're in an upward trajectory. Unlike other companies who've been downward, not to say anyone, but let's talk about the person right below us on the screens, Smitty.
Do you think that KTM has too many bikes on the grid, or do you think that MotoGP has increase them to become bankrupt at all?
I think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You, Smitty. Let's
I
hear
won't
you.
say. I won't say too many bikes because they have 6 bikes I think right now. Gas included.
Yeah, 4.
4. I mean, it's not too many. I think 4 is what companies should have. But you figure the more bikes you have, the more you could get data and share data and develop and share parts, test parts. So I think 4 bikes does help them become better.
Right.
But is it straining on the finances? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we do know because we're hearing about it.
Okay, well then yes.
And that's the thing, right? From 2017, we saw Suzuki had to leave. You know, Jixarite I don't know what we do for them, but you know, we know that they had to leave because of financial reasons.
Kawasaki also, yeah.
Kawasaki also, and they took they gambled. And it sounds like what you're saying, Smitty, is that it's still maybe too soon to take the gamble, but we have to take the gamble, right?
Right.
I think I don't think MotoGP put them in a position to go bankrupt. I think it wasn't smart the MV Agusta purchase.
I think that was a good purchase. I don't think it's MV Augusta's fault that they ran out of money. I think it's KTM. Well, I think it's some other brands because from what I can gather, it's not all the brands that cost the money, but the brands that cost them a lot of money.
You know, me right now, I'm in doubt of what I'm doing for this season in the sense of whether I'm going to get a 2025 bike, whether I'm going to keep my 2024 bike, whether I'm going to get 2 bikes this season, right? Because every season I've always had 2 bikes. The only time I've never had 2 bikes was last season. This season, there are things in question, right? How do I move forward? Because I got expenses that are outside of this motorcycle world. My kids in college, it goes to Carnegie Mellon. It's super expensive, but that's something that's up in the front right now. Then this is up in the front for me, outside of the family business, which is our family, right? Your family comes first, and then you, and then what you love to do.
Right.
And I'm trying to push this thing I love to do right behind my family, keeping myself out. And that's a tough decision to make. And I think KTM has had this decision for quite some time, but when they thought that they had more than they had, they did a purchase. You know, they made a purchase.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say
they made a few purchases.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it cost them. It bit them, and now they're feeling it. And sometimes you think, yo, I got these credit cards, right? I got these credit cards I could use. For them, their credit card is their sponsors. I got one of the best sponsors in the world, Red Bull.
Mm.
So I'm good. I should be good. And they're just good enough to do this season, but now they gotta work this year. They gotta work and prove themselves to get themselves out of this debt that they're in, because they maximize all their credit cards right now. They've maximized. They're already in the situation they are. They got 4 bikes on the grid. They got the MV Agusta and everything else is in the process of being sold or purchased. So they're on eBay everywhere shopping what they can to bring in more income, but it is what it is. This is when we make superstars or we stay in the dirt.
So Red Bull should buy KTM is what you're saying.
I don't think Red Bull should buy KTM. I think KTM has to get themselves out of this one by winning. Right. That's it.
But Red Bull got the money. They own the Red Bull team in Formula One. Apparently, they paid $1 for that. but they have to invest like $400 million or whatever every year for the works, and they own a few teams actually. It's kind of they're money long.
No, for sure. But KTM, you know, they got some pride too in the sense they're not just gonna let themselves get bought out of the, I'm sure it's been offered and it's on the table, and it'll be some crazy thing like that, like we're buying you for $1 and we'll invest the rest, but we own you. Yeah. You know, I'm sure that's been thrown out, but KTM is an incredible brand, and they've been in the game for a long time, outside of MotoGP, and they're great. They're one of the GOATs, you know, in dirt. So you cannot, they're not just going to lay over and say, yeah, we dead. Resuscitate us, take the organs. Nah, they're going to fight, and I think they'll come out of this.
Okay. I agree with you when you say, you know, family and making decisions and business decisions, and, you know, hopefully in every decision you look at all the stats, and then, you know, there's a leap of faith, right, that one has to take, and sometimes, you know, you hope it's, well, not sometimes, you hope it's always successful most of the times, and sometimes your decisions are not, and you have to regroup. So, you know, this is a pivotal moment, I believe, in KTM, because if they, and I assume they will, from what all you guys are saying, they will survive this. It's going to be a learning experience. And, you know, to go back to the Eagles and the Chiefs, you know, they played two years ago, and there's a lot of feelings you feel when you're the loser. Of a big game, or of a big race, or of a big opportunity. And I think KTM have to look at their situation and feel, because they, outside of Ducati, they are the second best bike on the grid. So right. It's not like they're far away. They're a lot closer to a world title at the moment than Honda and Yamaha and Aprilia are out. So it's just a matter of, you know, I think what happens this year will play a big part, but you know, as human beings, and we have to think about family, and we work for companies that are restructuring and changing and going through these times. It's very difficult because you have the decision makers making decisions, but then the employees who have families, they have to make decisions too, and it is a lot of moving parts.
Hell yeah, imagine the amount of jobs. You know, this is not just these are people's lives. You know, and like when I talk about it, like I'm playing with money of my family to come out here and enjoy this track motorcycle bike life. But I'm playing with the family's money. So even though it's a business for me too, Starz is my business. I have an EIN, like. We're supposed to be profitable doing this, not losing money. I have to make sure that everyone's employed, that my son's able to go to Carnegie Mellon, that my youngest one is able to get his sneakers and play his video games and feel comfortable going to school, and that he's fed, and that the bills in the house is paid. There's a lot of factors that go into it, because if I mess this money up, we out of jobs. My son got to come back from Carnegie Mellon, come to a state school, which might not be the worst thing, but where you going to go? Bronx Community College, or you going to go to Carnegie Mellon? Number one school in AI, artificial intelligence. They might not even have a computer science program at Bronx Community College. It's crazy.
Yeah, and
you can't play with that.
No, you can't. But we do, right? You can't play with it, but we do.
Because you're trying to win.
Yeah,
you're trying to win because the capital of KTM, even just placing again, be the number 2 motorcycle on the grid. Yo, that says multitude of success and their capability. And that they deserve to be here. We don't want another bike like Suzuki, a championship bike, to come off the grid and disappear because the funds aren't there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like they're so close that you have to push forward. You have to
Yeah.
say, family, we're betting everything. We're going all in.
All on
We
the
don't know
table.
how it's going to turn out, but we're going all in. And I don't want to go. We as you mentioned earlier when I was talking about football, and you mentioned this is a MotoGP show, but there's families every day, there's companies every day that are making decisions that okay, we have to let people go, and these people are sitting here saying to their family or whomever, I can't do what I used to do because I'm not making the money anymore. So it's like, you know, when we hear, like, I hear what you're saying, and you know, we have to be very mindful of that. There are already companies and people already going through that currently and have gone through that in you know, always in life. There's always companies going under. There's a small percentage of companies that succeed. You know, there's a small percentage of people that succeed. And it is every day. And you know, when you think about how you feel about your family and where you are, when you think of like KTM or Honda, Ducati, or Yamaha, where they got, I don't know, they probably got over 100,000 employees, and those people have how many family members?
I mean, it also puts a toll. Like when you let go all these employees, you just leave the rest of the load on to the employees that are there, and eventually those employees are gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm all set."
Yeah.
I mean, we see it. I don't know what happened with the CEO, but the CEO stepped down. They probably already seen like, yeah, this is going to be too much for me. I can't deal with it. And yeah, it's just a trickle effect. So, I mean, we see what lies ahead, the opportunity that they still have. But I mean, now thinking about what you just said on that, like, I mean, if anything goes wrong, it can just get bad really fast.
Yeah.
So
real quick, what are you saying, Smitty?
No.
I know you got a backyard full of Honda merch that you can sell.
Nah, you know what? I said my piece already about hope it just doesn't affect Pedro. That's all. But if they go bankrupt, I hope they don't. But like, I want to see more manufacturers in MotoGP. You know, I miss seeing Suzuki. I miss seeing Kawasaki. Because those are big companies. You know, those are big bike. Those are like bike companies. You know, that should be in GP.
You're right.
And so
Agree.
BMW one day. You know.
I completely agree. But you know, and again, I don't mean to make this too political, but you know, that only works in a society where we're all sharing the same burden. Is the quickest way I can say it. In a capitalistic society, it's all about business. It doesn't, like, you know, when you hear it, it's good business. This is good business. This, you know, it's like, and I don't know. And we may not be the people. I don't know who the people is to answer that, because at some point it should be, I don't want to say more than good business, but it should be something else other than good business, because it should be good for the people that are in this business or in this industry. It shouldn't just be good business.
Well, it's crazy, right? Like right now, everybody's hearing this situation with KTM, right? So what happens? People all of a sudden are like, so are the bikes on sale? You know, are they discounted? No, they're not. The bikes are still selling for the same price. You know, they're still there. But it brings a conversation, right? That's the whole thing with racing. Racing is just a selling. It's supposed to be a selling point of products, to make you want to purchase. Maybe you don't purchase the car, but maybe you purchase Tide. You know, maybe you don't purchase a KTM, but you start buying Red Bull. You know, this is a way of selling something to you. Selling you Dainese, you know, selling you everything but the motorcycle, but the main thing is the motorcycle. So I think that KTM, their success in MotoGP will be the reason that they extend their lifeline outside of racing.
So do you guys think that Pit Buyer lost his job because it was too much business? Because as I'm listening to you guys talk, they didn't really need to retain Pedro Acosta. You think about how many good riders they've had in the last 5 years that they just pushed to the curb and not give enough time. You know what I mean? So it does make sense that heads should roll because, would it have mattered if you had Ika Lukuono and Remy Gardner still versus Pedro? Would they have sell less bikes? You know what I mean? Like you think about those guys that they let go. Was it worth it to have a Pedro Acosta, versus Augusto Fernandez and all these other top riders?
Is it really worth it?
No, you look at where they are now with the struggles, right?
You're right.
They had to pay that money for him. They had to give up opportunities for him. They got rid of Jack Miller for him for the factory seat.
I think that move was made about the future. It's always best to have a young guy with potential than an old guy that's just okay. It's like sports. You want that young quarterback in the first round versus that old free agent.
Yeah, but Ika was young. Huh? Ika Lukuono was young. Remy Gardner was
Pedro,
young.
Though.
They got Pedro. 1 year. Yeah, but if Pedro's not on a KTM in 2026, because he's you see that's what I'm saying. Like in that like, is it worth it to have? Well, the Bulls didn't know they had a Michael Jordan. They knew they had a good player, but they didn't know they have a Michael Jordan. The Lakers didn't know they had a Kobe Bryant that we had today. But there's some teams that are betting that these young kids are going to be the Michael Jordan, the Kobe Bryants. But when they were but when they first got into the league, we didn't sit here and go, yo, they're dope. They earned that spot. You know what I'm saying? And even Marc Marquez, to a degree, earned the spot because we've never really seen a Marc Marquez really before that to say we knew what we had. But I think they've been trying to turn some riders into Marc Marquez for a while. But they've discarded so many good riders that would have probably saved them some money and brought the program further than doing what they're doing, because I think they also wanted. They were hoping that Martin would have stayed with them instead of going to Ducati when Martin went to MotoGP, because he was still on the Red Bull KTM in Moto2. Is it more of a real screw up for them? You think about these NBA GMs and so forth that let players go that they had and didn't realize what they had and stuff like that.
I mean, the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Go ahead, TJ.
No, I mean, I still got a question on that. Like, does it cost? For one, me and Rex used to talk about this all the time, but I always used to get upset with KTM, how they used to just let go of riders so fast, not let them develop. So at this point, does it cost them more money by letting go riders to try to replace them with a better rider over contracts? Like, I don't know how that works. But I think it does affect them by not settling and making a decision and pursuing with the rider.
I mean, what do you think? Let's look at right now, the standings right now, after 3 days of testing, where this at. Pedro Acosta is right under Marc Marquez.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is,
you know what I mean? What?
By them getting rid of all the riders leading up to Pedro Acosta, like, what if it wasn't Pedro for another 3 years? Were they going to keep doing the same thing until they get a Pedro? Like,
yeah, what teams do. I mean,
yeah, go ahead, Smitty. I love your first sentence. Go ahead.
So bring it back to football. So my team is the Raiders, and they'll hire a new coach every 2 years until they get the right coach. We just had coach last year, Antonio Pierce. We had Josh McDaniels, John Gruden. We got Pete Carroll now, and that's all like a 5-year span.
Done though,
huh?
They one and done.
Right. So it's kind of the same thing with KTM. They get rid of that rider until they find somebody. They want to strike gold, which is, I think, it's Pedro now. So I think Pedro's long term for them. As long as they're in the game, he's with them. So
right.
But is that cost?
I think that,
like for what their position of how they're bankrupt, like leading
Does
up
it cost them? It depends on how the contracts are. Like,
Yeah,
for
that's-
example, but let's say you have a 2-year contract and I cut you 1 year early and I got to pay you that last year, then yes, it costs them money. But if it's like, hey, you know, a 2-year contract without escape clause in the middle, 1 year, you're done, not going to pay you anymore, then it don't cost them any money, you know?
Well, no, let's. I don't want
I don't know.
to. I know we got more business oriented than we wanted to be. They had to sell MV Augusta, so there's a cost there. Pitt Buyer got let go, so there's a cost there. And I think somebody else in KTM got let go as well. So you know what I mean. And I think the people at MV may have had different plans than them having to be sold to somebody else.
It costs money to go racing, people.
Yeah.
The product of winning is worth everything, right? Because winning is gonna bring in more money.
You're right. I'm laughing, but you're right.
And now whether it's losing a pit crew member, a chief. Yeah, those are the people that you kind of sometimes you say, "Yo, I gotta sacrifice it. You out of here. I'm bringing in the next mechanic." Because the one thing that you trust in, that you invested your money in, is in your riders. Riders make miracles. Riders can make a horrible bike be great. Mark Marquez, proof.
Who?
Mark Marquez. I give him his credit. I give him his credit, man. I really do.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying? I really do. But there's nothing like investing in talent, and talent comes from people. I don't think there's talent in objects. I think objects are tools, and whether you have the right or the wrong tool, sometimes you just have to make it work. And that's what a rider can do. That's what a mechanic can do. And I think when you put apples to apples or oranges to apples, you really got to choose the right one. And you're always going to go with the rider. Like you're always going to go with the quarterback. Like you're always going to go with your superstar on the team, whether he's the point guard or the center. You're not going to go with the coach. You're going to let the coach go. You're going to go. You're going to let the president go. Somebody has to pay the cost for failure, but not your star. And that's what Pedro Acosta is. He's a freaking star, but he's within stars. When you look at his teammates, it's freaking crazy. Jack Miller's there, KTM, Brad Binder, and
no, Jack's not.
Oh my God.
Well, Jack's not
and Vinales.
But hold on, so. Before, when Jack Miller was going to KTM, it was a big deal. Like, oh, he's coming from Ducati. He's gonna, not rebrand KTM, but make a difference. But I don't know. It must be something in between, like in the paddock, where somebody working is no chemistry somewhere, because they start off and then they fade away. Like I can't blame it all on the rider. I know Jack Miller is not a bad rider. I know Remy not a bad rider. Like something else has to happen where for them to say like, hey, I know I can't develop you, so you're not enough. Let's move on. Granted, I'm not saying keep a rider for 5-6 years. I'm just saying like, I don't know if that's just
Smitty.
On what part?
Any part. I mean, I see you got 1.8 in the back, so I was going to ask about that, but like, Is KTM starting to look like Honda?
Nah, it's different. Because Honda's problem is not money at all. Honda has the money. They're stuck in the old ways of developing bikes. So totally different problem.
Right, but looking out for their riders and not not saying it's Honda way or no way. It's but I think Ducati lately has been doing a pretty good job at listening to riders.
They do.
And
I give them credit for that,
That's the difference where I think forever it's always been about
credit.
What the bosses say.
Ducati's more rider friendly. Simple as that. And some companies are look, like some companies that they don't trust the guys that write anyway. It's, hey, Howard, the data says this, engineers say that, you're doing this. So
Right.
Ducati, yes, they're very more rider friendly and it's a better environment. So yeah, they're okay. But Howard's problem, like I said, is just lack of development. KTM right now is lack of money, so not the
Right.
same problem.
Right. Well, we don't know because they're cutting ties to things. They're not necessarily going in the bank. They're just selling off products or cutting things. So, when you look at US, and again, I don't know, this sounds like a business show tonight versus a MotoGP show. When you look at companies, there's two ways to make money. You either cut employees or cut thing cost, or you sell products.
I mean, this is what we do. At the end of the day, every one of us listening to this show, participating in this show, our thing every single day is finances. Finances come first. You have to calculate how much money you have and what that money is going to allow you to do. And the one thing that we all will not sacrifice is our bikes. If we have to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs to do this shit, we're going to do it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out because the one thing I need is my bike. My bike is my solitude. It's my peace of mind. It's the one thing that keeps me from killing somebody outside. So at the end of the day, I'm going to figure it out, how to stay out of jail, how to keep this peace of mind, and how to keep my family united. And that includes that one thing outside that's made of metal and has oil in it. That is part of my family. And this is the same thing for every one of these companies.
You got to put it on a t-shirt. My bike keeps peace in the world.
Yes.
It does.
No, I mean, imagine every time we get on these motorcycles. Today I made a post. When I get on this bike, I'm by myself.
Right.
There's only one seat on my bike, and it's for me.
Yeah.
But when I ride next to that rider next to me on the street or the track, that's my family. Now we are packed.
Right.
And nothing else matters.
Right.
Nothing else. Me, the road, and this bike, and whoever's behind me or in front of me. On 2 wheels, that's my family. I'm protecting them because I know they're protecting me.
Right.
And nothing else matters. I'm willing to lose it all to keep this.
Right. And I'm going to leave this alone. I think it's because it's close to a full moon, why the energy for me might be a little bit different.
Are you a wolf or something, man?
No, that's a whole different ballgame, but that's on full moons and people. But to your point, Trax Starz, the motorcycle community is a family, and I think KTM is stepping outside of that. That I don't want to say policy or that thing because they're not being a family based on how they've been treating riders and and I know it's business, right? But like when it comes down to, for me, motorcycling, I think it's one of the few areas where we become less about business. We may see somebody broken down on the highway and I might have to go to work or I might have to go somewhere and I'm in a rush. But because it's another biker, I'm sitting here saying, let me make sure they're okay. Even if it's just a thumbs up, something just to say, hey, you know what? I got you. Right. I don't know if KTM is doing that.
I would beg to differ. For real.
Okay.
Because you got to look at it. You got to look at it right now at what it is, right? You still got 4 bikes on the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
You could have easily, my man, they had the perfect excuse of why we're backing out of this right now. Early. Save some jobs, save or not save some jobs, save the company and just say we're out. Suzuki did it. We're out.
Right.
No questions asked, no nothing. We're out. They could have done that. They said no. We've paid people. We got people who depend on this. We can do this, and we're gonna figure it out. And they stuck to it. And yes, still some things get cut off, right?
Right.
Right? Because there's gonna be places you're gonna lose on. You know that there are bills that are not gonna get paid, right? Because I'm gonna say, yo, I'll pay those later, or fuck it, let's just cut the. We don't need the cable. We'll keep the internet because you can still use YouTube, and we could figure out. We could stream.
Right.
We get cable that way, but we're not paying $165 to Optimum for cable. You know, there's things that we're not gonna use the AC anymore, or the extra heating appliance to keep the house warm. We're gonna figure it out. Put another sweater on. There's things that you gotta cut off to make sure that everything else is in play. That's all they're doing. But they didn't say, "Yo, listen, auntie, you gotta move out because we can't pay for you no more." They kept
They didn't call it auntie, they call it MV Augusta.
no, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? There's people that you kept, you know what I'm saying, in the house. You still got the main people. You got four riders and you got a whole team. Anything outside of the house, we gonna get rid of, but we're not getting rid of the bike. Sell the car.
Right.
We're not getting rid of the bike.
Right. And I'm not trying to bash KTM, right? Because it at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. It is business, it is family, and there's somebody's gonna lose out. So, you know,
You have to.
on a wish way, I would like for all of us to go broke together. And reality is it's not gonna happen that way. And some pieces will have to move, and some things will have to move for you're gonna have to cut off a finger to save the arm, right? Kind of thing.
Exactly. Yes, I love that.
So I get it, but we have to talk about it because the motorcycle community is a family, and it's always painful when we see riders or people or just life happens, and we can't, and someone in the family has to deal with whatever is happening.
Remember everything I've been talking about in my personal life, right? What I was supposed to be at Homestead. I was supposed to be at Homestead. A couple months ago, I should have seen some of you guys at Homestead and ridden with y'all. We would have made it out. But unfortunately, how the finances were set up and everything that's going on with me and trying to figure out how I'm going to balance this season out, I couldn't go.
Right. No, absolutely. I'm in the same boat.
I couldn't I'm not dissing my family, but I couldn't participate. All my brothers, my whole certified knee draggers crew, shout out to them. They all went. They all had a great time. They was over there in Lamborghinis and Bentleys and a movie and videos of they had a blast.
Right.
They say, damn, that sucked. That Trax didn't go. Yes, but guess what? I'll see y'all next season. I'll see y'all during the season. It's not over. We got to figure out what we can do and what we can't do in order to start the season the right way.
Nice. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, this is and I love how you guys broke it down on a level where I think where a lot of us who, 1% of the people are rich, so the rest of us are regular. So, talking about MotoGP in a way I think, and just, businesses in a way that regular people can understand it, is awesome because, I think we get caught in the amount of monies, celebrityism and all the things that, things get lost in the sauce. And when it comes down to it, get tough decisions to be made in every family at every level.
Right.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
So money is why I stopped riding initially. So for me, like I've been riding damn near almost 25 years. But when I started riding, I just had a son. I had no money, crashed my bike, couldn't afford to fix it. So I stopped riding, for the past 20 years until my kids got old and left the house. I had to take care of them first, So I was a legit single dad. So for 3 kids.
Right. Wow. Props to you, my brother.
Yeah. And I don't mean like a weekend dad, like, hey, I got him Saturday and Sunday. I was a legit, had him 7 days a week most times. So
yeah.
There's a lot of legit dads like that, man.
Yeah.
Which is And that's the most important part of it, of the whole thing, as far as talking about the KTM, and just the whole thing is decisions are not easy, and sometimes we don't understand everything, right? Because we're on the outside, and nowadays a lot of information doesn't come across. But like I said, Trax Starz, I like the way you brought it back to the reality of what it is. It is family. It comes down to just that simple thing, and decisions are always, not always hard, but every family has to make a hard decision at least once in their life, if not a few more times.
Right.
No, I think most of the decisions are hard. I think not so many are easy. We make it seem easy, and we make them easy because we know. So most of the time we'll take the hurt on our own, and the family won't even know. Right. Because we know like what we're doing. We know we could take this. We know the family can hold it together like a unit and take the pain all together. No. Right. So there are things that you individually, you have to say as the head of the family, yeah, we cutting this right now. Right. And even if it just affects me, like my boy Smitty did, that's
right.
That's like, oh my God.
And you think about how many times right, exactly. No, definitely is. And I'm not trying to make light of that. I was a single dad for a while, and I know what that's like. And 9 times, we don't have to get caught up on the numbers, but majority of the times when we have to make that decision, say the family can't know. Most of the times these things work out. We're the ones, not we're the ones, but generally we're the ones sweating. And 9 times out of 10, these things work out. But every once in a while, they don't work out, and you have to face the music. And it seemed like KTM, had to face the music because too many people in the family knew about it. So you had no choice but to fess up. And I think that's where it is with them, because I'm pretty sure it's not the first time they had questions about financial issues, and they probably figured out solutions that were able to make it work in the past. And this time, it was enough that they had to call cousins and aunties and uncles and whoever else and let them know Christmas is going to be different this year.
Right. Yeah. The motorcycle family, like when I started riding, it was just like all positive. Like I haven't been in any motorcycle community where you see people arguing or fighting or anything like that. So it's just like all positive. So the fact that you got to cut ties with people who love the motorcycle community, that's just like heartbreaking. So I know that's just a situation that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, TJ, I think you're right about that. I didn't, until you said it, you didn't think about it. Like the head people at KTM is probably feeling the way about these decisions because, again, at the end of the day, it's good business, and good business doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be happy with that decision.
Right. So I don't know like if they all going to work arguing and stuff like that. But yeah, you gotta have good business.
No doubt. We didn't get a chance to talk much about World Superbike, even though there's stuff going on, and I feel we probably should just save it till the next episode. It sounds like from what you guys are saying, and we'll wrap up, that 2025 is going to be about KTM and Ducati. Each of you get to talk on that. If you think there's another brand that can sneak in there, just tell me why.
Jorge Martin, he just made it the issue.
Okay, all right, by hurting himself.
Yep. So now,
so Aprilia has a shot. They're like, I'm not MV. We got a little bit of money.
You know what? I'm gonna say Yamaha.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Yamaha, the dark horse this year. For a few podium,
you know what? I feel that way. It sounds like Yamaha, they're on a different engine and they're on a little different thing. So you're right. If I don't think they're going to be number one, but they have a good chance in being number 2. I think with the riders they have, with all the riders they have, because the one rider with Yamaha, I'm a fan of Alex Rins, Jack Miller, and Miguel Oliveira. And Quartararo is nice.
It's because of his Moto2 stats.
No, it's not because of the Moto2 stats. It's listen, man. We all take advantage of the opportunities we're given. But you know, listen. Look at Jack Miller. Look at Oliveira and look at Alex Rins. Alex Rins is one on every bike that he's ridden on, right? Yeah. So Jack Miller's done fairly well on every bike he's ridden on. Oliveira is done fairly well in general. And in Moto2, Jack Miller didn't go to Moto2. The other three guys went to Moto2. Oliveira and what am I saying? Oliveira and Miller didn't go. Rins, they both won titles in Moto2. So
not a MotoGP.
Listen, I think Aprilia still got a shot. I know Ducati's gonna win the whole thing, and I think, like I said, I stick to Pecco being that rider to win this year. But the next manufacturer up right after
Ducati,
I think will be Aprilia. I think that Martin will come back and he'll be a force to be reckoned with. He's come back from injury in the past and he's put that motorcycle in contention. It was a Ducati. And this is a complete new monster for him. But Aprilia is putting everything to win. That says a lot. Right hand, left foot. But this man broke both his hands and his leg, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we talked about for him.
He looked like a mummy in the hospital.
Yeah, 11 bones he broke.
Yeah, and comes back and puts that bike in contention for a championship. I'm not counting him out at all. Right. The way he's being supported is insane. But Quattorano looks like something. Like that speaks volumes for him to be at 156 on a Yamaha when he couldn't put that nowhere near there.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm with Smitty, and I don't agree with that man too often. You know, Smitty might as well be Luis Ortega on here.
Hey, man.
Hey, 2 times a day, you could be a broken clock can be right. Not saying you just right on that.
His heart is broken.
Not his on that. Yeah. For sure. Let's shout out the sponsors, man, and tell people how they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, 2 Wheels and Coffee, number 2 Wheels and Coffee with a K. J&G Performance always help me service my bike and locally. Woodcraft Technologies for all the parts. Official Vortex and Hideaway RV Rentals.
I might have to use that Hideaway RV Rentals because I like how that drop off and I show up.
Yeah, that, definitely going to get that more out there as this season is approaching.
Here's the boy Smitty, Smith Shot Racing, sponsors Vortex and Blood Lubricants, and that is it.
Blood.
It's your lubricant? What is that?
Hang on.
Oil.
Boil lubricant.
Blood, BLUD lubricants, oil.
Okay, blood. Okay, all right.
I'll be filed next time and show you, man.
Yeah. We're gonna have to. Does Ducati ever use stuff like that?
Nah, because if you do, it'll leak out, man.
You ain't right. Head gasket issues. That's BMW.
What are you trying to say? The Ducati ain't tight?
It'll leak out. And
see.
Oh my God. This your boy Trax Stars, man. You can find me on Instagram at Trax Stars, spelled the wrong way, TRAX_stars, STARZ. I like to shout out Ducati New York, HSDK Racing, mention Track Stars at either one of these places, and they will show you love. I like to shout out Dainese New York and Dainese anywhere in the US. Mention Track Stars at any one of the stores. They will show you some love. AEM Factory. They make parts for Ducatis, MV Agustas, and KTM. A popular subject today. You can go even online with AEM and use Trackstars 20 Trackstars at checkout, and also Warhorse NYC. They make merch for Ducati New York and just motorcycle apparel for casual use, which is amazing. And you can use Trackstars 23 at checkout for your discounts. Like I always say, stay up on tools, guys, and I love you guys, and thank you for tuning in with us. Thank you, Rex, for another great show and letting me voice my opinion. I never say that to you, man. Like I really enjoy coming on your platform and discussing these things. And today we even went a little personal into my life, at least. But I think it's important for people to know it's not all roses. We're gonna go through hard times, but the best thing is speaking with those above you and those under you to make sure that everyone comes out with smiles, including yourself. And even Smitty today to get so personal and say something he experienced in his life, and to even sacrifice this thing that we know he's super passionate about for so many years. But guess what? He got back to it. So sometimes you got to do the ultimate sacrifice to get that sacrifice back. We can get out of situations and come back to them and come back better than ever, because it's a business now for Smitty. It's a YouTube channel. It's this show for Smitty. It's racing for Smitty. But he overcame that. Just like these big corporations will too. KTM will come out of this. We got to be confident in ourselves and in the people surrounding us. There will be hard times, but they will be good times.
Right. Hey, yeah, man. I appreciate those words, and I appreciate you guys, because I wouldn't have been able to do this without any of you guys. I'll just be talking to myself all the time, and I do that too much already. So this is actually a break, talking to other people that love motorcycles, and I definitely appreciate that. Shout out to Freedom Cycles. Go to Freedom Cycles, mention B4evaKool, and get hooked up. I'm gonna have to call some of Smitty Trackstar sponsors, because I want some of those discounts as well on that Dainese stuff, because I'm a big fan of Dainese. Go to the website B4evaKool.com and get connected. Join the Patreon membership and get exclusives. And we're gonna keep trying to do this thing this year and make it even more entertaining. I think we're onto something, guys. And it's great to say we're the first to have done what we're doing right here in this motorcycle community. And I from even just tonight alone, because tonight's episode was very heartfelt, wasn't planned, and we get to share our own personal experiences with everyone that's watching and listening. And it's real out here, and we do love this thing, and we love the community. And, we do it because we love it, and we want to see this community grow. And you can tell that from all of us, regardless if we ride a Ducati or Honda, Suzuki or whatever. It doesn't matter what the brand is. At the end of the day, we really love this two wheels, and we I think we're all going to do it as long as we can.
That's a fact.
Right? No doubt. Till next time. Peace.
Peace.